You guys all read the script, right?
Lana, Ramon vouches for them. I vouch for him.
These three were my best friends.
Fuck those guys.
Everybody love everybody!
Hey everybody, welcome to Vouch for Me. I'm your host, Eric West, and we are doing Alien Romulus, still in theaters. That's right. With me, I have Papa Nasty.
Hey.
And Abel Ham.
Hello there.
And we have no intern today because she is on strike. That's right. I locked the door. She's outside with her picket, and we crossed that picket line. And that's how we're going to start this episode.
Yeah. Vouch for Me is unfair. Master Sada is in there, staying at the concession, plotting a depression.
Yeah. This was Abel's pick.
Yeah.
How'd that come about? We went to the theater to see it. We got to see it together, guys. This is our first movie we saw together to do for the episode.
If only time permitted, we would have loved to have done a live reaction podcast with all three of us in the same room, but unfortunately it was not to be.
One day.
Yeah, one day. Maybe the 10 subscriber special.
Dude, tell me about the Alien franchise. Like, have you always been obsessed with it? Is it like more of a zeitgeist pop culture thing for you?
I can't even remember when I first got into Alien. I think the first one I ever saw was Aliens, because I always heard things spoken so highly of it. And I was a big fan of the Metroid games, and Metroid is basically like as close you could get to a knockoff of Alien as possible.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, just the more you like look into Metroid, the more you realize like, oh wow, it's literally the same freaking thing.
There's a scene where you get to see a little thigh, right? If you play the Metroid game fast enough, don't you see a little Samus in a bikini?
If you beat the first game fast enough, yeah, Samus's armor pops off on the congratulations screen, revealing that Samus is in fact a woman, which was actually quite a twist at the time because...
Spoiler alert, sorry guys.
1986 when Metroid came out, because the game was brand new, there was nothing known about it. Everyone assumed that Samus was either a robot or an alien. Or a dude. It never occurred to them that it could be a woman in that suit.
Weird that it came out in 1986, because I think that's when Aliens came out. Dun, dun,
yeah,
dun.
But Alien came out in 79, I think.
Yeah, it did. Alien came out in 79, and then maybe it was inspired, but
yeah.
Okay, so you're familiar with the franchise. Papa Nasty, I think you and I are in the same boat. This may have been our first Alien movie to watch, but you knew it existed.
Yes, because of the Predator.
Watch Nintendo copyright strike us because I mentioned Metroid.
Wait, what? Tell me about your next door neighbor again.
He went away for a long time. I'll just say that.
I'm so...
Because like Alien versus Predator, when that first came out, that was badass.
I remember hearing about that.
Well, like that history is so different because they made the Predator, or they made the aliens to hunt, like as like a rite of passage for becoming a young warrior. So I don't know if that storyline is canon. They
didn't make them, they just planted them there. They captured a queen and just left her there to reproduce offspring for them to hunt.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Well, apparently the queen is not going to be a thing anymore. That was something that Ridley did not like.
He probably had mixed feelings about it, but I imagine because the queen in AVP was so old, that's why it was as big as a freaking dinosaur, whereas the one in Aliens was far smaller because it was a much younger queen.
Yeah.
Dude, Fede Alvarez is such a fanboy. If anybody could hype up the concept of the Queen to Ridley Scott, I think it would be him. But you mentioned that you knew more about the Predator lore, which is funny because, researching for this movie, turns out that those two movies, they try to give a backstory for the alien species, and they retconned it. They have so much history now with all the alien movies. Abel, have you watched like the majority of them, or where are you at?
I've watched both AVPs. I've watched Predator 1 and 2. I've seen Alien, Aliens, Covenant, and Prometheus. I have not seen Alien 3 or Resurrection. But I definitely understand that anything that takes place before Prometheus, essentially like the AVP or whatever, that's where the continuity gets a little muddy because that's where it starts like contradicting like Predator lore or just like the general lore of both creatures.
Okay, that's a really good point. I had a few questions about Covenant. So we are going to be, just so you guys know what the heck we're planning on doing with this episode. Hey guys, welcome to Vouch for Me. Basically what happens is one of us picks a movie for the week and then we talk about it. And then by the end of it, the other two, Papa Nasty and I in this case, decide if we vouch for Abraham Lincoln. So it's going to be really fun. We're going to break down some production. We're going to have a discussion about all of it along the way. And then we'll do a full recap because there's so much about the movie we want to explore thematically, trivia, all that sort of thing. So yeah, definitely strap in and get ready because we are not fucking around. But I want to keep going on this train really quick because before we start talking about Romulus, we have to talk about a few things leading up to Romulus because Romulus was not only, it nestles itself in a very peculiar spot in the series between Alien and Aliens. It also paid homage to plenty of the series, like thematically, visual effects, there were plenty of visuals that gave you homage to other films, right? And the last movie that Ridley Scott had worked on was Alien Covenant, wasn't it?
I thought it was Prometheus. It might have been Covenant. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the last. Yeah, this is where we fact check ourselves, guys.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I was drunk last night doing the research. I was like, I was gonna like, should I play another game of this Balatro? And I was like,
Yes,
oh
it is.
man, okay.
That explains that voicemail that you left me that we haven't got to talk about, but we will later on the Patreon.
we'll talk, on the Patreon. We'll talk about it. What'd you think
we'll
of
talk on
Covenant?
the
Because Ridley Scott was the director for that one, wasn't he?
I feel like Alien Covenant felt like it was missing a good 45 minutes because the pacing was so fast that it never really felt like anything had time to develop. Because first 30 minutes of the movie, they land on the planet that David set up camp on. And then off screen, apparently David had just murdered an entire planet's population worth of engineers because he can. And he's just been conducting genetic experiments, creating xenomorphs, essentially.
Who's David?
David
Nah, fucking
is...
I'm just fucking, I know.
He's a fucking... he's a synthetic being like Andy or Bishop, Rook, or
Yeah.
Ash.
Is this pre-Romulus or post-Romulus?
Pre-Romulus. It's after Prometheus, but before Alien.
That's what I thought. Okay, because they kind of gave up on like adding to the series. They're like, we got to go back in time because we're gonna throw if we keep trying to add to the series.
Well, it's one of those things where they keep coming up with some interesting concepts in Prometheus and Covenant, and then they just throw them away, never to be seen or heard from again. So at the end of Prometheus, we see the first
Spoiler alert.
we see the first quote unquote xenomorph. It was called like the Deacon by the supplementary material. It looks like just like a proto version of an alien. Like it's not quite the way we know them now. But then they never did anything with it ever again. Apparently in a comic, it turned into a living mountain.
Oh,
What?
I know, it's weird. And then in Alien,
Greek mythology bullshit?
I don't know what's going on. Really, Scott doesn't know what he's cooking half the time. And then in Covenant, David creates this weird, like very tall, faceless, skinned creature that looks slightly like a xenomorph, but it's very pale like an engineer. It's got a really pointy like skull instead of round one like the xenomorph. And yeah, it's called the neomorph, and he only makes like 2 of them, and they're both quickly killed. And then eventually he creates what some have called like the praetomorphs, which is like a lot closer in line to the xenomorphs, but they're more organic looking. Because if you ever notice that the aliens kind of look almost machine-like.
yes, because of H.R. Geiger, my friends. That dude. Okay, so if we go into like OG alien lore, when Ridley Scott was developing the script and the story, he wasn't sure what the creature was going to look like. And they took inspiration from H.R. Geiger. And this guy was a fucking psychopath. And they like to call him a combination of psychosexual and biomechanical. That was a lot of his works.
Psycho.
And when they were trying to, psychosexual. I mean, that's what that's how I identify as I'm a psychosexual. But ask all my ex-girlfriends. I don't know what that implies.
Sounds like the parody of Psychosocial by Slipknot, like a parody song of it. Psychosexual. Psychosexual.
It explains that voicemail last night.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I was getting kind of wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, Geiger's insane. Did you know he wrote the Necronomicon?
Of course he did.
Hell yeah.
You know why this all ties into Alien Romulus?
It's calling back because he directed fucking the Evil Dead reboot.
You're damn right. I'm grabbing this tangent. I'm dragging it right back to the movie we're talking about, Alien Romulus, because
Bring
Fede
it back.
Alvarez directed an Alien movie. Alien the creature was inspired by H.R. Geiger's work, who his collection of art was called the Necronom and later the Necronomicon, which later on inspired Evil Dead, which fucking Fede Alvarez, or what the fuck his name is, he also directed that. That was his first horror movie he directed, was
Oh wow.
The Evil Dead, and then he moved on to, what was that? Don't Breathe?
Yeah. I haven't seen that.
Yes. I haven't watched it, but it looks crazy. Isn't that the one with the blind guy?
I can't
Oh
recall.
yeah. Don't breathe. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
don't know much
it was
about it.
okay.
Don't Breathe, The Quiet Place, Bird Box, they're all the same, right?
You tell the director of this goddamn movie that it was all the same.
I think Bird Box had a better concept than Don't Breathe. It was Don't Breathe was cool. I like the idea, but I mean, I think Bird Box is better.
Guys, let's go ahead and dig it. Let's go ahead and dig into the movie. Let's get some talks going. We can go on some tangents, but we'll tangent about the film itself. So right now, $80 million budget, considering predominantly practical effects. You know, there is still some VFX because you can't go without VFX nowadays. And it just brings the movie together. Plus, they're in fucking outer space at the point. So I mean, come on. Why did you guys spend $1 billion and send them to space? Come on. This isn't a very realistic movie.
No, I heard in some scenes they actually went to space. No, I'm fucking. I want to see Abel's face, but Abel fucking disappeared. God
I
damn.
think he looks like he's throwing up, dude. He hated
I think
it.
he's okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to.
I think he's sucking his own
something on my
dick.
computer. Trying to fix
I didn't realize you're
See,
so
that was in the
flexible,
voice. That was in the voicemail. That was in the voicemail last night. See, you do remember a few things.
We need to hang out more, Abel.
I thought you were as drunk as I was. Wait, when did Alien come out? Actually, I know. I'm looking at it.
Abel, 1979.
Well, Alien came out in 1977. Alien Romulus came out August 16th. And at the day of recording right now, it is at $124.5 million. And I don't think it's done making money, dude. It has made a splash. It was record box office this year for the movie. It's kind of surpassed everything that also debuted with it. And going ham, dude.
Hell yeah.
The children yearn for alien horror movies.
It turns out, what do you think is dude, what the fuck is the appeal, man? It's it's so funny because you have the OG. This movie kind of takes you back to the old original Alien, which is more of like a thriller / slow horror film.
Yeah. And the horror video game Alien Isolation proved to be very popular, and fans of the game said that Alien Romulus just feels like a live action take of the very vibe that Alien Isolation created.
Which was a horror game, right?
Yeah, you're basically a person stuck on this ship or space station with the xenomorph coming after you. And I believe it's kind of a twist that it turns out there's multiple xenomorphs. You just don't realize it because they're never in the same area at the same time, but that's why they can seemingly pop up out of nowhere.
That's pretty fucking good. And no spoilers yet for the true movie because we'll dig into it, but there's some interesting things that might relate
And
to
the
that.
xenomorph AI in the game was so advanced that it adapts to your playstyle. By the end of the game, it's basically smarter than you. If you like to hide in a certain spot or use certain tricks, it eventually wises up to that, and so you have to learn new ways to try and avoid getting caught by the damn thing.
That's literally incredible. That game
fucking
came
sick.
out 2010s.
A few years ago.
Okay. At earliest 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
But well, that's something we can verify. See, this is what happens when our intern goes on strike. She could be Googling it for us right now.
If you have a mic, it can hear your breathing or talking, which is why sometimes streamers get fucked over because they're talking to chat and then they don't realize it can hear them.
That's cool. And then Abel is on point here because in interviews, Fede Alvarez, and let me make sure I'm saying his fucking name right before I'm sitting here. Oh yeah, thank God. Okay, so Fede Alvarez, they've said, well, what was your inspiration for this movie? But he says two things. You know, people are like, well, isolation. And he's like, I mean, I looked into all of the media. And so, yes, isolation was one of the things that inspired me. But you know what the number one inspiration was for him?
Prometheus
Was originally a deleted scene from James Cameron Aliens, but then later it's in the extended cut. So in that movie, long story short, they go to an outpost where aliens are attacking. And when they get there, in this clip, it shows a band of children and what they're doing during the outpost thing. And so he saw that part that was cut out originally. And he's like, I kind of see why they took it out because, who cares what the kids are doing? This movie is adult focused. But then he's like, but what would children be doing? What would the young adults be doing in an environment like this? They're not going to want to be miners their whole life, farmers their whole life. They're going to want to rebel and do something more. And what does that what does that mean? Fucking the events of Alien Romulus. That's right.
Oh.
That reminded me of a discussion I saw on Twitter where some people were talking about criticisms of the movie casting before the movie came out, where they said, this is a horror movie. Why'd they cast a bunch of like young and pretty model looking type actors? And like, that is exactly the point. These kids are, well, they're basically young adults, but these kids are in like their prime and they don't want to waste their lives wasting away in labor camps for Wayland Yutani, which is why the plot is driven initially by them wanting to just go on the run and just hide somewhere. Because fuck working for a corporation all your life.
True. First of all, preach, as they should, as the kids are saying. But let me throw this in really quick. The Alien 1, 1979, how do people compare them? They call them truck drivers, space truck drivers.
Yeah, Ripley's basically a space truck driver.
So they call them space truck drivers. And then the ages of the individuals on that ship were 46, 39, 48, 53, 42, 30 was the other woman on the ship. And then Sigourney Weaver was 28 years old. And these are the actors that play them. Okay, so the actors that played are cast in Alien Romulus, 23, 26, 24, 26, 31. And then I don't know who the fuck is 52. I don't believe that. But basically, the point is they're all like 20-year-olds. So it's pretty wild and wonky.
Who was that old? What the fuck?
Right. I know. We'd have to look into it now. When I looked at it before, they were all in their 20s, but I just Googled it real quick for lack of an in term. I can see her outside right now. Let me see. Oh, yep. Now she's got like a whole bunch of interns. Dang, that's crazy. Who have you guys not been paying? Who have you guys not been paying?
I looked it up real quick. So basically, the synthetic android they found, Rook, he's facially modeled after the late actor Ian Holm, who was 88, but the voice actor that they had dubbing with him was 52.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, absolutely.
So the only old person in the movie.
Fuck the man, too old. And then guess what? He wasn't a good guy. Spoiler alert, he wasn't a good guy. Fuck that guy.
He wasn't a good guy in the first movie either.
I do want to talk more production and all that stuff, but maybe we should start digging into the movie itself and then kind of like sprinkle in some stuff along the way.
That would probably work best.
It's not very interesting, but this movie was filmed in Budapest.
Pronounced Budapest.
Budapest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was filmed there. That's one of the yeah. And then they were like, oh, it's because of the cool backgrounds. It's because of and also the tax incentives. I'm like, pretty sure it's just the tax incentives. I'm positive it has nothing to do. Wow, it has great scenery. Yeah. Tell me the numbers, buddy. Tell me the numbers really quick.
That reminds me of this video I saw where Jeremy Clarkson, the host of Top Gear, was interviewing people in Monaco, asking like, so why do you choose to live in Monaco? And they're all making up some bullshit ass reasons, saying like, oh, the weather's so nice all year round, or like, oh, everyone here is so nice, like I can just go on a walk anywhere I want. And then he says like there's only one race car driver living there that actually like told the truth. He is like, people will tell you all sorts of reasons, but the real reason is taxes.
Hey man, it's accurate though. What do you do? Fucking taxes, buddy. Well, Abel, you picked it. I'll help you because I may or may not allegedly have the movie pulled up on a sketchy site.
Yeah. Anyways, so the movie opens up with like some creepy ass foreboding music. I love the sound direction of this movie. It was just very unsettling.
Dude, that was such a good scene. When I was running late to the movie and I was walking in during the beginning.
Yeah,
that
like intro.
Super eerie. It was super eerie, and I was like, "Oh, what the fuck's going on?" And I'm watching with everybody. I'm like, "I'm sorry, excuse me." It was such a good start to the movie.
Yeah, it was a great way to just like get the whole vibe of the whole movie just established right from the get go. We see like what looks to be like an asteroid field or like some kind of debris field, And there's this like unusually organic looking rock floating in space. It gets picked up by this spaceship, and then they start like digging into it, and then they carry off something and start walking away, and then the camera starts panning up, and we see the outline of a xenomorph embedded in the rock. And then at that point in my head, having like being a big Alien fan, I'm like, well, I know we were told that this movie takes place after Aliens, so is that supposed to be the xenomorph from Alien? Nice.
I want to talk about the music real quick, just because you brought it up, and Papa Nasty was saying it was actually pretty fucking good. Benjamin Wallfish, and it's like, oh, we've never heard that name, but a lot of the score from this, some of it they pulled from some of the older movies. He also incorporated, some of the popular Alien themes he incorporated into his own compositions. But I'm not going to go into this full list. But this guy has just been working, dude. He's done everything. He did music for Romulus. He did it for Twister, The Flash, Mortal Kombat, The Invisible Man, Hellboy, Shazam. Like, God, dude, if anybody's been working, dude, Benjamin Wallfish, I gotta say he's MVP for everything that he's been putting his dick in. So
he's always been there and hiding, working in the shadows,
in the background with a violin. I don't know. That's what a violin sounds like. That was pretty good. I don't know. I gotta say.
Yeah. And then, anyways, after that, we just cut to like some time later at a Wayland Yutani Corporation mine camp,
outpost,
slave labor camp, and we meet our protagonist, Rain, played by I don't know if I'm saying her name right, Kylie Spaney or something like that. And she's basically trying to apply for leave. She's put in all her hours with the company and says, okay, I'm allowed to just exit my contract and just go about my business. But of course, like any dystopian corporation that owns everything and hates people, they're like, actually, we are experiencing a labor shortage, so we will deny your request for leave. You actually have to work even longer for us. Thank you for your time.
Bro, I think it's double. I think she was at, tell me if I'm wrong. We don't have to go into the numbers really, but yeah. I swear it was 12,000 hours and it went to 24,000.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, they basically just told her to like, go fuck yourself. You want
to hear speculation as to why they might have raised it? Apparently her parents died of Lyme disease. I don't know if that's true. This is what I get from going down random rabbit holes on the internet. And so maybe they saw that they had lost time, and so they upped hers.
They're trying to make it up through her.
That'd be fucked.
Just like how people try to make deceased people's kids pay for their parents' deaths or something like that.
Classic, dude. But we also get introduced to Andy, the android.
What a convenient name for an android. Andy the android.
I'm sure either the daughter named it or the dad named it, something goofy. I mean, the dad.
I'm sure she named it.
Oh, okay. You're right.
Him. Yeah.
Them.
She said she did fix him up. She's in the process of trying to fix him up.
Yeah. It takes a while. Oh, but what's great about that, first of all, they have a great dynamic. I definitely love them. And then you see, while she's over there doing her, like trying to, get her way off of the planet, poor Andy's off, like goofing around. And then a bunch of kids just come up and start beating the shit out of him for no reason. And you're like, what the heck did he do? Dude, it felt like...
Yeah, in dystopian set pieces like this or Blade Runner, even Star Wars sometimes, humans tend to look down on artificial life forms. Like in Star Wars, you see droids get treated like shit. In Blade Runner, everyone just fucking call, what are they? Replicants in Blade Runner, they call them like skin bags or stuff like that. They don't treat them like actual people.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going.
So they look down on Andy because he's a synthetic. So they're like, hey, let's beat the shit out of him. He doesn't feel it anyways. He's not human.
Well, also in my mind, I'm like, even if you can't perceive him as an alien, or if you can't perceive him as an android, he still seems like he has a disability. And so I feel like it's a Morbius thing all over again, where it's like a group of kids show up and they're like, look at the disabled kid, let's kick his ass. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, a lot of people read into, what's his name, David Johnson's performance.
Oh, yeah, okay.
David Johnson, and said the character really does like give off the semblance of like being like autistic or on the spectrum by like his mannerisms, tics, and inability to like convey what he's thinking properly.
Which sells this so much more because out of all the characters in this movie, like I need to hear what you think, Papa Nasty, because we're gonna get introduced to them more.
Mhm.
But I feel like Andy was the one. Andy was the character growth. Andy was like you. He was the one tugging at your heartstrings. I don't know how you felt. I don't know. Like I feel like Papa Nasty wanted to join in and beat his ass, but I was like,
Bro,
no. It's just a prank. It's just a prank. Tell me about it. What did you think? What did you think about Andy?
no, I was holding my popcorn like, hey, let me get in there, but
Oh, no.
he did have that weird like, I don't know if you notice, like before the spoiler alert, when he gets a little upgrade, he does have that weird little walk, like when he's walking with her, and how he like kind of just he walks different. His mannerisms are totally way off, but like yeah, he does have that like weird like there's like he's a little, what's the proper word I'm looking for? God damn it. Anyways, you guys get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, however they meant to depict it, they did a phenomenal job because when you look back at the old movies, most synthetics were almost like they were always, I mean, I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong. Abel, help me out here. Where they looked down upon. If you look at the first two movies, it was a surprise that one of them was a robot. And then in the second one, Ripley has every right to be like kind of pissed at robots.
She's suspicious of Bishop and aliens because in the first movie, Ash basically acted as like a sort of spy for Wayland Yutani. He has zero care for the safety of the entire crew of the ship because his mission priority was to protect the alien and ensure it gets taken back to headquarters. So he couldn't give less of a shit about anyone, and that made her distrustful of him. And so she meets Bishop, and Bishop is actually a really solid guy, but and he's also got better programming because he's an upgraded model. But she's immediately distrustful of him because the moment she finds out there's a synthetic on their mission back to LV-426, she's like, in her head, she's like, this fucker's gonna try and find the alien and keep it safe and secret.
Is that not what they do? Are they not? Is that not their whole vibe? Or do they not directly work for that company?
They technically follow a directive, and whatever that directive is. So some of them may be told to prioritize the company. Others, like say Andy or Bishop, are prioritizing the safety of their crew.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. And then Andy, in this case, you know,
his directive is to protect Rain.
His directive is to protect Rain as input by the father. But she was she was rejected. She doesn't get to go off world. And she gets a call from her ex-boyfriend. And her ex-boyfriend's like, hey, we want you to come out to the old mine. Come have a quick little conversation with us.
Oh, Tyler, you're so crazy.
Oh, Tyler, you're crazy. Tyler with the big dick. I'm gonna go say hi. What's going on?
You crazy British boy.
Because in space, everyone is British for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You said something really awesome. You're like, well, there's Space British, and then there's what else? What did you say, Abel?
I called Kay Space Latina, Isabella Merced's character.
Oh, Space Latina.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah. No, that's great.
I recognize her as she played Dora in the live action Dora movie that came out a few years back.
No, fuck.
I didn't even know that came out.
And so in my head, I just kept looking at her as Dora.
Mm.
Oh my god. Oh, that's really good though, because then I have a crazy ass joke for later with the Offspring. all right. Well, you can get away with it once, and after that, Vouchers. I swear, I'm not a crazy dude, but this is a good joke. But hopefully, I remember. But if I don't,
we'll get to that point later.
I got you.
No. Yeah, So basically, she gets called up by Tyler, her ex, and she goes to see them, and they find out that she's not getting off world, and they have this whole little bet. They're like, I guess you owe me $5 because she's back, kind of thing. Yeah. But then they fill her in on their master plan. And their master plan is, hey, we detected a ship that's coming into orbit, and it should have cryopods on it. And we should go to space. We should hop in there, grab the cryopods, put them on our ship, and then get the fuck out of Dodge.
Just skip town, like the space equivalent of skipping town.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, she's not immediately for the plan. And this is really, at the end of the day, like a very reckless plan.
Yeah, because when a corporation owns, controls, and listens to everything like Wayland Yutani, consequences are legitimately a very, very frightening thing. Like, what if we get caught? What's going to happen to us?
Yup. And no, that is terrifying. But they do talk her into it pretty quickly, and they don't even need her. That's the thing.
Yeah, they said they needed Andy.
They need Andy.
Yeah, Andy would have the fucking access to everything.
Yeah, he's a Wayland Yutani synthetic, so he would have the credentials to get in and out of the security systems. It's pre-programmed into him.
We do meet my favorite character of the film. I think it's Bjorn.
Bjorn?
Oh, do you now?
And he's all
Yeah.
like, Andy, I fucking hate you because you fucking synthetic
Someone's in the
piece of
fucking
shit.
water.
You fucking piece of shit. And he starts fucking with Andy. You're like, oh, he's the asshole of the film. I can't wait till he dies.
I read he was in The Batman.
Spoiler.
No way.
He was
What?
one of the
Which
he was
one?
one of the random thugs in the intro of the movie. So in the intro of The Batman when Robert Pattinson is like just doing his monologue about like crime in the city, blah blah blah. And then there's like that one guy who is tagging, and then he drops his can of spray paint and it rolls into the building, and then he's like watching into the shadows because he's like scared Batman's gonna be there. That was Bjorn.
Never,
That's
never seen
cool.
it, Abel. No, thank you for spoiling for me.
Well, you never watched
Now
Batman?
it's ruined. No, never.
How have you
But
not
no,
seen The
fuck,
Batman?
Of course I've
Oh
seen
no, it's like, what? Am I talking to the right person?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what
Are
have
you
you
a
done with
replicant?
Papa Nasty?
Mm-hmm. Where's Pop?
You
Who's this?
You
Fake
sick bastard.
Piece of shit.
But they do it, guys. They decide. They say, "Hey, we're gonna hop on this." Apparently, their little miner trucks go into space, and they also go light speed.
Oh, and since I don't know if we ever actually made the disclaimer earlier, but if you had not seen the movie, this is a very spoiler heavy
Oh, yeah.
video.
Oh yeah. Hey, spoiler alert!
I don't think we ever made that disclaimer in the small recap. Yeah, the aliens, people trapped in a space station, all hell breaks loose. That's the premise of the movie.
Oh yeah, we forgot to do the synopsis. Whatever. Who cares? Anyway, we'll get it. We'll get it right. We'll get it right. I respect you, Abel. Thank you for saving
Pavanasty,
it.
please continue.
Please.
Okay. We never do find out, how did Tyler find out about that? How did he know about that ship, about all that?
I don't know, Papanasty. You tell me, how do things fall out the back of a truck of a little van?
So how do you get that knowledge? And then
How do you get criminal
secondly-
intelligence, if you will?
Yeah. And then also, do you guys remember the scene where they are lifting off into space and they're about to go and do their heist?
Yeah.
There was a guy watching them with suspicious sunglasses like mine. While everybody else was doing their own thing, he was watching them, and you just see him briefly, and no other review has talked about that. But I remember seeing that being like, that is weirdly suspicious.
Well, considering I'm on sketchymovies.com, I do gotta see.
It could have been a red herring unless we just failed to recognize that character.
But it could have just been somebody that's like gave him the knowledge to go and inspect, and then no one's gonna fucking bat an eye about some.
Well, a lot of the workers in general down there on the ground level keep their heads down, so they probably didn't think anything of a ship leaving. They probably thought they were just off on an assignment.
What about the symbolism of the canary in the mine?
You had the very blatant example with the legit bird in a cage.
Yeah. What do you think that meant? Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out.
The intern mentioned something on when we went to see it about like basically when the canaries were used in
That's
mines to
crazy. We're
detect
calling
gas
her the
leaks.
intern. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, until she's off strike, we're not gonna. She's just the intern.
Yeah.
My beard's gonna fall off. Goddamn.
She did mention something about how historically canaries were used in mines to detect gas leaks because the canary dies because they'll die before a person does from the toxicity of the gas. Then they realize oh shit, we need to get out of here. It was like they're a form of an early warning system.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that much.
Okay, so the canary allegory, basically, I think she said it was basically Andy, because Andy's the one just keeping everyone alive, more or less. He's the canary. He knows what's going on. But anyways, so they go to the ship to get the cryopods. Then they realize, Rain realizes, wait a minute, motherfucker, you lied to me. This isn't a ship, it's a damn space station. And he was like, yeah, we picked it up drifting into orbit, and we only have a few, 3 days to grab the stuff and get out, because once it crashes, then they're not going to think anything of it. They'll just think anything that was aboard was lost.
I think it was less than that, dude. I think it was 36 hours. I think they had a day and a half.
Oh yeah, a day and a half. I did the math wrong in my head.
Oh, it's okay.
Hey, get together, Abel. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Math Whiz himself over here.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Fucking.
Yeah, so they get aboard the Renaissance. They take Andy with them. Bjorn and Tyler go aboard, leaving Rain on the ship because they told her that's all that she needed to do. They just needed her to bring Andy. And then he gets them in. Bjorn's being an asshole to him. He's extremely distrustful of him the entire time. And the ship's experiencing like gravity cycling essentially because it's in a low power state. The gravity will be active for a certain amount of time, then shuts back off.
Yep.
And so it's just like creating some weird stuff while they're getting in there. They get in there, they find the cryopods, no problem, but it's not enough. So they got to go try and find more.
They need more cryo juice, right?
They need more cryo juice. Also, like, we have to admit that at the beginning of this movie, they started setting some stuff up for us guys. They started setting up some tension right out the gate. I mean, it's them getting in through the ducts.
Mhm.
And so, you know, there's this nice claustrophobia going on. They find out they only have 36 hours before it crashes.
There's that rat floating in the zero G.
Yep, the zero G just randomly, you know, you like they're setting up these plot elements that you know that are going to matter later, and they're tense in a way. It's like, this is a horror movie. It feels like a horror movie as of right now, and you're like, how are these elements going to fuck them over later?
Yeah, the crawl space reminded me of the first Alien movie because I think a guy actually gets murked in a crawl space because the xenomorph was down there waiting for him.
Damn. Okay.
So I was wondering if that would ever come back into play or if that was just like a little callback to just get us on edge to expect something like that to happen.
Yup. I think they did a really good job of doing that.
Yeah, but anyways, they realize that the station has a storage center keeping things in a cryostasis. So they're like, okay, let's go down there. There's probably a lot more cryo fuel down there. And then while they're in the station, was it now that they like find the lab or was that after that?
Ah, fuck it, dude. They found the lab. Okay, so let's walk it through it real quick. They found the pods. They realize there's not enough fuel. They send the pods to their ship, and they're like, now we just got to go grab some fuel, quick and easy. But when they go over to grab the fuel is in a very peculiar room.
Yeah, it's in like a storage room for like life forms or something. It keeps them all in cryostasis.
Oh, yeah, the facehuggers.
They don't think anything of it because they're not paying attention. They're just looking for the fuel.
But we recognize it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
we know what they are. What are they able to fucking face hugger ass motherfuckers?
Yeah, they got like a bunch of face huggers. Oh yeah, they did find the lab first because I remember the lab said that there were 36 specimens completed or something like that. So there were 36 face huggers in that lab.
And were you guys stressing yet? Because I was already
Yeah.
stressing at this point.
Yeah, I did like that scene where so Bjorn is being an asshole to Andy again, and then Andy just grabs him and you think that he's like finally gonna beat his ass, and he's like, nope, still following his directive. He's protecting him. He was like, watch your step, because Bjorn almost fell into a freaking hole that was caused by
Oh,
it's not revealed yet, but the acid blood of a xenomorph.
whoa. Spoiler.
Spoiler.
No, the spoiler was in the room the whole time. They just never noticed it. Oh, and they also saw that synthetic who was melted in half. He comes alive for like a second, but he's like speaking gibberish because he's like heavily damaged, but they put him back out and just leave him there.
Yep.
Yeah. That was a funny
Yeah.
scene. 'Cause I never watched the first Aliens.
Yeah.
So the first Alien, and I was like, why is he covered in milk? Or semen?
yeah.
Ah.
I was like, what's going on here?
He's not a real person, that's why.
Was this a bukkake party? What was going on
Yeah.
before they
Sick-
got here?
Hey, sick invite. But I remembered Andy. Andy bleeds. But they're like, oh, it's only a and then Bjorn's like, after just getting saved, he's like, oh, it's only a synthetic. And he's like doing his Bjorn bullshit.
Yeah. And so they realize there's more cryo fuel in the stasis chamber, so they go down there. They start taking the stuff, but unbeknownst to them, by taking the cryo fuel, that then takes all the facehuggers out of cryostasis, and they start like thawing out and start hatching very shortly.
It also triggers the door so that way they
Yep.
can't even leave. So now they're trapped in the room with all the fucking face huggers. And then you have the three people, you have some people watching from the ship itself, and they're like, oh my God, we got to get them out of there. They're trapped. It's like, we have to go and save them.
Rain, Kay, and Navarro. So Navarro and Kay decide to go save the day because they try to get Andy to get them out, but Andy doesn't have the credentials. It says a chief security officer is the only person that can open that door at this point. So they quickly realize, like, okay, that synthetic in the lab must have the credentials then. So they have to go back to the lab and get his chip in his head and give it to Andy to upgrade him to a science officer, essentially.
Also, we're shown that those two leave, and they leave. Who do they leave behind?
They leave Kay alone, Dora.
They leave Kay behind, but it might be because that's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
They leave her behind because
We forgot to mention she's pregnant.
she's pregnant, which matters later. But fuck, dude. And she got impregnated by some asshole, and we might as well spoil it now.
It was heavily implied in the movie, but confirmed by the director that it was Bjorn, her own cousin, that knocked her up.
Oh, dear Lord.
Dude. Apparently things are just different in space. You just don't understand. That's just how it goes.
It's hard to meet people when you're a slave in a mine, okay?
I mean, okay, you're not wrong.
Okay.
Jesus. Yeah, but nonetheless.
They get Rook's chip and go to save the day, and they have it hooked up to Andy, but then he has to like reboot in this really creepy ass way. He freezes up and then his eyes roll back, and the Weyland-Yutani logo shows up in his eyes. Like, god damn, that was kind of creepy, but also metal as fuck, honestly.
It was creepy. It was sick. It was horrific. It definitely gave you demonic possession vibes, and I love people's concepts that the theme is he's genuinely getting possessed by
Weyland-Yutani.
From fucking Weyland-Yutani, dude. Because he's about to change up really quick.
And then all hell breaks loose because now the facehuggers are swimming in the knee-deep water and start attacking Tyler and Bjorn. And all this time, Andy's rebooting, and so they're basically trying to survive long enough for him to reboot and get them out of the damn room. And people like to make fun of Bjorn's accent because he's like, there's something in the fucking water.
It's so funny, though. I love it.
Yeah, but Andy eventually reboots, he gets them out, and then it looks like all is safe because it shuts all the facehuggers in, and then the facehuggers just smash through the glass because nothing can keep them contained. You know, Jeff Goldblum, Jurassic Park, life finds a way.
But Andy has completely changed. He's like suddenly seems very competent, very capable, and he's making
sure
they get
ticks no more.
Yep, he's getting them the fuck out of there. But just as they're closing like a bigger blast door, one single facehugger gets through
and jumps on Navarro.
Bam, right on her face. And so now we're taking it back to Alien 1 in a way. This is a group of individuals who know nothing about anything, and so they don't know what's going on, and they're dealing with it much like the original cast.
They're trying to pry it off her face, but then it starts just tightening and starting to suffocate her. So then they stop for a second, and then they decide, okay, we need to ask the only person in here who even knows what this thing is. So they grab Rook, they hook him up to a computer so he could talk again, and they ask him what the fuck's going on here, and he was like, you guys need to get the fuck out of here. She's as good as dead. You might as well just leave her. You guys need to leave. And they're like, okay, you're being unhelpful. And he's like, all right, you want some exposition? Here's some exposition. And then he basically...
That's so good.
Yeah, that's basically how the scene plays out, essentially.
Yeah,
And
literally,
then,
that's so funny.
Yeah, so he explains the purpose of the space station, what the hell the alien is, and he basically explains like how we got here from the first Alien. He says, one of our ships picked up a creature in space. We brought it here for like testing and like to study it, but the thing just proved unruly to capture. It wreaked havoc, killed so many people, and eventually we were able to kill it. If you'll actually look up there, it's actually hanging from the ceiling. It's been there this whole time.
Ooh, and now you ready for some trivia slash throwback slash all of that fun stuff?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
You probably already know this, Abel.
Oh yeah, he's explained it, so tell it to the fans.
Oh yeah, okay. So they picked up this weird rock thing with the impression of a xenomorph in it. They took it onto the ship, and then it actually got loose because it was still in there, and it attacked everyone. They ended up killing it, but it killed everyone on board.
Almost everyone.
That was the original alien from the original Alien movie, 1979, because at the end of that movie, spoiler alert, Sigourney Weaver, aka Ripley, she sent it out of an airlock and then blasted it with her fucking jet engine, and it should have died, but we don't talk about that. And then it has another survivability tactic that can make a cocoon in space, and that's what they picked up with its cocoon.
Basically like a water bear.
But they did manage to kill it regardless, so impressive to them. They managed to kill one xenomorph.
So that was something that Rook mentioned. He said like they picked it up because they thought it was dead. They didn't realize that the vacuum of space didn't kill it. It was just a survivor mechanism. And so that again goes back into like the ultimate life form thing. Like the only way you can really kill these things is with force, because they don't age, they don't need oxygen apparently.
Yep.
They don't necessarily need to eat. They just consume things just to reproduce, but they don't need to eat.
Basically, you just have to kill them on land because that's the only place you can murk them with a gun, and then their acid can go ahead, eat through the ground, but in a spaceship, you're fucked.
Yeah, because it just destroys the integrity of the ship, like airlocks and all that stuff.
Yep.
Anyways, so Rook gives all this exposition. He explains that what the xenomorph is, and he again reiterates to them that Navarro is as good as dead. The moment you finally get that thing off of it, it's already laid its egg in her, and then she's probably got minutes until she dies. But Bjorn is refusing to hear this because even though he was fucking Kay on the side, Navarro is actually his girlfriend. So he's just like, all right, you know what? Fuck all you guys. And he basically just takes off with Navarro and then leaves on the ship and leaves all of them behind because fuck you guys.
After they got it off her face by doing the thing that they proposed doing in the first Alien, which was freezing it, and it did end up working. They end up getting off her face. But Rook says, they have about a 60-40 chance that she's preggo.
Yeah. So on top of being a bigot towards synthetics, turns out Bjorn's just an asshole.
And an idiot. And just very self-motivated. Anyway, so that doesn't come to bite him in the ass, right?
Yep. So he takes off on the ship and leaves them locked in the lab. Oh, and also he stuns Andy. So now Andy's out of commission again. It kind of turns into like a running gag, essentially. Like anything that hurts Andy basically puts him out of commission. And he starts like shaking on the floor like a seizure a little bit. And yeah, he's basically useless for a little bit until he gets rebooted. And so Bjorn takes off, but just like accidents and mishaps happen. And so the ship just ends up like crashing back into the space station. And then Navarro starts having a chest burster start trying to like hatch its way out of her chest. And Kay is there to watch it just full force.
Bro, that was actually pretty sick. Early on, they introduced like, what do they call it? Like a foreshadowing, Chekhov's gun, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, yeah.
Because Navarro actually found like this cool X-ray wand that you can put behind your body and then you can see through your body. So one of the coolest first of all, I wish you would have remembered and they would have checked before she left. We don't talk about that. But before it actually burst from her chest, she grabs the wand, she put it behind her back, and you can see in her chest cavity that there's a fucking, what are we calling them? A baby?
Chest burster.
Baby?
They're called chest bursters.
It's there's a little baby chest burster, and then it just it's crazy, dude. You just see it like pounding against her rib cage.
I noticed that it was also breaking her ribs. You could see her ribs being broken as it's like punching through her chest. Yeah, so I remember reading like this one comment about that very scene where someone said, I always wondered like when the chest bursters come out, do they just like come out and like just one go? Like, no, it turns out they're like actually pushing your ribs and breaking them out of the way so they can come out through your skin. Because, you honestly have like a big chest plate bone right here.
Which explains even in Alien 1, when he's convulsing because he can feel it, you see a slight spurt of blood, and then it finally does come out of his body. I did go back and rewatch, that first one for us doing this, and it's so crazy comparing the two. Of course, this one's more updated, but the OG one, it's so cool that they held that knowledge. They didn't let the cast know that they were doing a chest burster scene.
That something was going to come out of his chest.
No way.
Yeah, and so it freaked him the fuck out.
Yeah, so according to the legend, when Ridley Scott was shooting Alien, they were told like in that scene that Kane was going to die. Like Kane's going to die on the table. He's like convulsing or something. They didn't tell them that something was going to pop out of his chest. So it legitimately took everyone by surprise. Supposedly that's their reactions.
Supposedly.
That's fucking awesome.
But in this case, it would have been crazy for them to try to hide the ball on it. So,
yeah. Well, in this case, the chest burster can be CGI these days. Back then, it was a practical prop. I'm very sure it was still practical.
What was fantastic about this is I'm sure there was still plenty of CGI going on, but between Fede Alvarez and Kaylee Spaney, whatever the fuck her name is, they were in an interview together. I think it was for Comic-Con. And it was probably amongst all the cast, but it was just those two being focused on. And she was thanking him. She thanked him for two things. She thanked him for the practicality of the effects, because when you're in the room with a xenomorph, it's completely different than being in the room with, like a green tennis ball. Also, it was filmed in chronological order, and so things weren't out of place. Everything that happened from the beginning to the end was filmed in that order over the span of 4 months or so, which is crazy to me. But
I remember one of the actors, I forgot which one, but they said working on the movie felt like Survivor or something. Like once you were out, you couldn't even stick around to watch the rest of production. They're like, nope, you're out. You don't need to be in this scene.
that's sick. And they were trying to like really hide all the information.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you died, then you don't know what happens after that part of of like once you've done your scene, you don't know what happens after that.
Like in real life.
Yeah, but anyways, Navarro died. Kay screams.
Can we talk about really quickly? I know. Tangent. We're making great time, guys. We're not even at an hour. But the characters, individually, people have, discredited alien movies in the past because maybe they love the characterizations of, the original cast of aliens. But this one, each of them get like their own little, you get to see different parts of their character. Navarro was so calm and cool under pressure. She was like the cool one, intimidating aura. But what happened when she truly was in a scary situation? She freaked the fuck out like any other normal human being. And it proves that she's just a child. She's just a kid. She was just putting on this macho act.
None of them knew what they were getting into.
No one knew what they're getting into. Yeah.
Mm.
Wait, how does so Navarro chest bursts, and then what happens with the xenomorph baby, the little chest burster?
It just takes off. Bjorn finds it embedded in the wall growing up, remember?
Yeah, but isn't he? He's still also kind of fucked up already. Like his legs fucked up or something weird.
So he was trying to climb into the ship after Navarro got in, but then when the ship was abruptly taking off because Navarro was panicking, he got shook off the ladder and fell off and busted his leg.
That's what it was. Okay. And then when the chest burster thing happened, because they were docked on one part of the ship, Kay,
Yeah,
the other girl, she accidentally knocks into the controls, and that's when
it crashes crashes the other way.
it goes from being docked to going all the way around the ship, but then miraculously landing in like a docking bay, which I'm just saying for plot purposes, fantastic. It's a 1 in a million chance. It's times like this where I want to be like, what are the chances of that happening? But then also I'm like, yeah, but then the movie would have ended right there if that, or it would have been a stupid story otherwise. So they end up crashing into a different part of the ship where now they have to be saved because Bjorn, so Navarro's dead. Bjorn tries to be all cool, like some Rambo shit. I'm pretty sure he has like something tied around his head.
He had a bandana on.
He's been wearing a bandana the whole time.
You think he's gonna, but now he looks like he's gonna be super cool. Like he's Rambo, but then he gets fucking killed in the stupidest way.
Yeah. So the chest burster went and formed like a little cocoon in the wall to gestate and grow into a full-grown xenomorph. And he finds it and he uses his little electric prod to try and kill the thing while it's gestating. Oh, and by the way, he runs into Kay and they have like this unusually intimate moment for a couple of cousins. They look like they're about to like make out because they're glad each other's alive.
Sweet home Alabama.
But he sends Kay on her way and he's gonna go try and kill the xenomorph or something. Starts like shoving that prod inside the cocoon, which looks very, very similar to like a vagina.
It looks a lot like a mermaid vagina from the lighthouse.
The light. You be neglecting your duties, lad.
Yeah. And so he thinks he killed it because like for a minute it stops moving in there. And then the spike tail comes out and just hits him right in the face. And then he's like writhing in pain. And because he was like hurting the damn thing, there's acid blood dripping out of the cocoon. And because he's on the floor now, it keeps dropping on himself until he just eventually dies from the acid burning his body.
So crazy. That was probably like one of the most disappointing deaths. Made sense. And also,
it was also pretty painful, so he deserved it.
Oh, I mean, Mile. It's one of those sayings like in fucking Game of Thrones when what's his face like, but you can help me out here, Papa Nasty. He betrays the Starks.
Which one? There's a lot of guys.
Greyjoy. Yeah. So Greyjoy, he betrays the Starks. You hate him, but then he gets kidnapped and fucking tortured. And you're like, I don't know if he necessarily deserved that, but he definitely deserves some.
Yeah, he's all fucking.
Oh yeah, he definitely got way more than he deserved.
So that's how I
Yeah.
feel about this character as well, is that he might not have deserved all of that, but he dies in probably one of the fucking dumbest ways ever. It's cool that they introduced a new cycle to the growth of the xenomorph, because before, when a chest burster happens, they just kind of run off and they come back and they're big. They're the
Yeah,
big
they
old.
grow off screen. We don't know whatever really happened in that little stage.
But now they cocoon. Now we know they cocoon.
A fucked up butterfly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so because I like had a hard time noticing this, but apparently since he interrupted it mid metamorphization, it has like a semi-translucent skeleton face compared to the other xenomorphs in the movie, which is supposed to basically make it more noticeable and stand out from the other xenomorphs when you see it in other scenes.
Oh, okay.
That's
This is
pretty cool.
one of those
That's pretty cool.
rewatch it kind of things.
Yeah. Because in Alien vs. Predator, there was one alien called Grid, because in a fight with a predator, Predator's net cuts into its like face skull and leaves like a bloody grid imprint on its head.
Yep.
And so you would see him recurring through the movie, and you know it was that exact xenomorph. So they did the same thing here with that one. And then, so we get to back to the other guys. They talk to Rook, and Rook explains a little bit about what's going on here and says he'll help get them off the station. They go about their merry way because they have to get to the other side of Renaissance Space Station to get back to their ship and escape.
But there's a handful of issues here. Andy's already starting to act a little strange because now he's highly capable. You know, he's highly deductive. And I don't know if he doesn't make this comment yet, but we'll wait till we get there. But he does help them navigate to the other side of the ship. They have to go through all these face huggers. They do a whole, they keep finding ways to introduce tension, which I find fantastic because it was a great horror movie. So they have to navigate through the face huggers. Andy's been acting weird, but right when they have to run, well, we can dig into that scene more, but they have to run. They make it out just in time, right before two of them are going to get out. Fucking Andy hits the button and it starts closing, but they get out just in time. And Rain turns to him and she's like, "How could you do that?"
He almost shut the door on him.
I timed it perfectly. I knew they were going to get through and not the face huggers.
I calculated based on how fast he was running, essentially, type deal.
And I had got it wrong before, and that's what happened with Navarro. And then basically, does he say yes? Like, does she say it yet? Like, how could you almost do that? What, leave them behind?
Yeah, then she also asks him, because she's starting to get suspicious based on his behavior and what he's prioritizing now. She is like, "Andy, what is your directive?" And then he is like, "I am to ensure the completion," or something for Wayland Yutani. Basically, he says he is now prioritizing any actions that benefit the company and no longer her.
Well, in addition to her, even though they're simultaneous directives, which is obviously causes a conflict, but he's still prioritizing the Wayland Yutani one.
Yeah, which causes him to hesitate in certain situations.
But it's crazy because now we actually have to flash back, because this is something we didn't talk about, was when earlier Bjorn actually confronts Andy because he's a piece of shit, and I guess maybe he did deserve to die, but he's like, "Guess what? They can't have androids on this new planet we're planning to escape to. So fuck you. We're going to decommission you before we get there, or you're going to get there and get arrested." And he's like, it's for Rain. Whatever Rain needs, I need.
Yeah, Andy don't give a fuck.
It's one of the few times you see him smile in the movie, which is crazy because most of the time he just looks so concerned the whole time. His little eyebrows are always raised. Well, I can't do it.
Definitely reminds me of a young Eric.
Until he gets that Wayland Yutani upgrade, and suddenly he's just like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Ah, look at that puppers. That's our mascot right there. Look at him. He's so beautiful.
Boop the snoot.
It's our nephew. There we go. We got a new intern. All right, ask him a question. Yeah. All right. Yeah, how big are they? How big are the xenomorphs? All right, but let's let him clack away on his computer. He'll figure it out.
Anyways, yeah, that scene where they're trying to get past all the face huggers, that was really great tension. Andy explains that they don't see, they just hear, and they can sense body heat. So they come up with this genius idea of trying to get past them by turning up the temperature in the room so they can blend in perfectly. The temperature of the room is like 98.6 on average. And so they just try and creepily sneak past. But then fucking Tyler still has his radio on, and Kay comes on screaming, asking for help. And he's like trying to like whisper back instructions to her. And you all notice all the face huggers started like turning towards him because they all hear him.
Oh yeah, because she's trying to get out of the fucking ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Well, that seemed like he literally said, "Don't do this. Don't make any noise. Don't fucking, don't raise your elevation. Don't."
Tyler just forgot to turn off his radio. It was just a classic mistake.
And he's literally talking to her, and then he's freaking out.
He's trying to be quiet and help her out because she's his sister.
He's stressing out. He's sweating, and it's like, and all of them are, they're like getting ready. I'm like, how are they not attacking him? It was such a stupid scene, but
because they're suspicious, but they can't quite see him yet. Because his temperature still blends in with the room.
Yeah, okay, Papa Nasty. What are you going to do if Sister Nasty calls you in a situation like that? You're going to say, fuck you.
I'm trying to get past some face huggers.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what time it is, sister? She's about, what time is it? Boop. That's what it is.
Oh, no.
Sorry, Sister Nasty.
Dang, and then
Hey,
that would have
get
been the
your
end of the
shit
movie
together.
right there. Papa Nasty escaped. Sister Nasty's gone. Don't matter no more.
Yeah. Hey, I got one more sister. It's fine. I don't need two
I mean,
sisters.
he didn't in this situation. Jeez. Yeah, but I forget that's going on simultaneously. Is Bjorn's dead.
She can't find the key to get out.
He's trying to find the key to get. Yeah, so you're dealing with two tension moments at the same time. Fucking Alvarez is a genius, dude. After all those horror movies he's worked on, he knows how to build tension.
I like how he like is trying to calmly reassure her too, because he himself is also trying to stay calm. She is like, the key's not here. And he's like, the key is there. Just look for it. And she does find it. It is right there where he said it would be.
She escapes, but then she immediately falls out and eats shit.
Yeah,
dude.
because shit just keeps going south for everyone involved.
But as she's eating shit, then also Andy kind of looks around and starts to realize that the face huggers are starting to notice them.
He looking kind of purty over there.
Look at that pretty mouth.
That face looks like it wants to get hugged.
And so
He's about to hug the fuck out of his face.
Andy says the cool line from the trailer, and he's like, run. And so they just all start booking it because at this point the face huggers know they're there.
Ooh, and then this is where they escape just in time.
Yeah. Eventually, they come across that next lab, the one where they're experimenting on the black goo.
And then this is also where you start to learn that the ship that they're on, the space station, is called the Renaissance. It is a combination of the Romulus and the Remus. And so I believe they originally are on the Remus, and then they end up going, because who's younger? Do you guys know this, Romulus and Remus?
I don't remember which one's younger. I know Romulus is the one that survives because Rome is named after Romulus.
Oh shit, first of all, holy crap, I had no idea that was the case.
It's a Roman legend.
That's cool as hell. Oh, because so I think they're originally on the Romulus, but then they end up going to the Remus, which is where
They have to go to the Remus to get out.
And the Remus is the older station, so it takes you back to that old. What did you retro futurism?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, the production designs are fucking.
Yeah, because it still has that aesthetic of it has the aesthetic of what the future looked like in Alien 40 years ago, give or take. And so they find that lab where they were experimenting on they basically reverse engineered, quote unquote, building block of what made the xenomorphs, the black goo that we saw back in Prometheus,
Which was basically their semen, turns out, because apparently it was retcon that. So originally, I mean, it was speculated by Ripley that when the thing slashes on your face, it releases an embryo inside of you. But later, after Prometheus, they say no, it actually releases the black goo. And so that means they took a bunch of face huggers and fucking harvested their semen.
no, they lay eggs.
No, they retconned it. They said it's the black goo that comes out.
Maybe. I don't know.
I
have to
know.
look into that myself.
All right. Where's our intern? Oh, fuck. All right. Hold on.
Nacho.
Oh, yeah. No, they're taking a lunch break. Yeah, they're not picketing right now. But anyways.
Yeah, so then Rook contacts them over the station CCTV essentially and explains to them what it is, and he is like, this is the pinnacle of our work, blah blah blah. And this is where Rook then turns back into a villain because so he decided to help him initially because his mission was a failure. He was under the impression that the xenomorph is dead, the serum is destroyed. I'll just help these guys get out of here because the mission's a failure. But now that I know the serum is intact, suddenly I'm like, okay, then the mission priority is to get this thing out of here. So fuck whatever happens to Rain, Tyler, or Andy. We need to get the serum off the planet. get it to the company and I can help you out.
Piece of shit.
And I guess we overlooked the detail. I should mention that Rook is modeled after the same actor that played the synthetic Ash in the first Alien. He's superimposed with a little bit of CGI, so he looks uncanny. Some fans did take a little offense to that because they just feel like it's a bastardization to use a dead actor's likeness in a movie. But the actor's estates, his family, were okay with them using it. They just had his voice dubbed over.
Yeah. The black goo, we really don't know much about it. I mean, we see that it can like give life in Prometheus. We see that it can also be used as a weapon. Do we have much knowledge on it?
No, it's left ambiguous exactly what it is and how it works, but like the implication, like Rook said, is like it fundamentally alters life.
Mm-hmm.
The black goo, the sacrifice engineer, he consumed it for the first time, and then he dissolved into the water, and then because of that, he created humanity.
Yeah, he created life on Earth.
He created life on Earth, and then this is something I found thanks to, I think, like New Rockstar or something when I was looking shit up. The guy who does that channel is so excited about
it.
It
was Mephisto.
But apparently in like the original Prometheus script, they actually took it out. But when an engineer is confronting the humans, they say, no, like, we're going to destroy you because you guys keep fucking up. We even sent Jesus Christ to your...
I wish they left that in.
We sent Jesus to your planet to try and fix things, and you killed him.
No, he says, we taught one of yours the way of us, and you brought him back, and what'd you guys do to him? You guys made him... He said, like,
crucified him.
You fucking crucified him. Like, you guys are just fucking impotent,
you're animals.
fucking piece of shit.
Bro,
yeah.
that black goo be going crazy.
Yeah, the engineer wanted to hit the reset button on humanity.
Yeah, but that's a story for another time.
Yeah, maybe when we do Prometheus. Anyways, so yeah, Rook goes back into villain mode, but he's very low key about it right now. And so they take the black goo and they're gonna get it off the station because that's what he's asking them to do. Tyler finds a pulse rifle and gives it to Rain. The pulse rifle has now come back from Aliens. We haven't seen it in any of the Alien movies since, which is kind of a nice callback. And it's also got aim assist, apparently.
Did you like how Tyler knew everything about the weapon?
Yeah.
How do you know so much about this gun from video games and magazines?
Yeah. They literally just like put it out there. He's like, I'm a gamer.
You know, no, but that literally made me feel like you knowing everything about fucking race cars. You know everything about Formula One and how people will actually simulate Formula One races and then go on to actually drive for Formula One.
Yeah, it makes the world feel a little bit more real and lived in because people are always like, how do these movie characters know so much about something? Like, how do you know so much about anything? It's easy to get offhand knowledge.
Yep, exactly. But he barely gets to use the gun. No spoiler alert.
What do you mean by that, Eric?
We'll get there. And so they go on their little merry way. They finally manage to catch up to Kay, who's basically playing Alien Isolation, trying to hide from the damn xenomorph that's hunting her now.
Nice.
And there was that one creepy frame where we see the xenomorph basically carrying away the corpse of Navarro, I guess, through the doorway off in the distance.
That was creepy.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, okay, girl, you're safe for a little bit because that thing is occupied. So try and get as far away as you can. And of course, like the scariest thing that could happen when you're trying to hide from an alien, she's trying to get through a door and the door alarm goes off.
Yup. So perfect.
Yeah, and so the xenomorph comes back, catches up to her. Tyler and Rain and company they're on the other side of the door and they're telling Andy, like, let her through. And Andy was about to do it, but then he quickly realized, like, that xenomorph's waiting for us to open the door. If it wanted to attack her, it absolutely would have. So he just lets her go. And it pisses off everybody.
Dude, that was such a cool, creepy scene. Can you just see it right there in the post? Just like on the thing, just waiting for it to open up. And he's like, fuck. That was like, oh no. And Eric's intern was right next to me, and you could see her like freaking out. And I was like,
just stressing the hell out.
I'm like, you're knocking over my popcorn. But
that's where Rook said, like, he was talking to Andy privately when everyone else was gone. He says, like, humans let their emotions cloud their judgment. And I was like, that's essentially what's happening there. They're like, open the door, save Kay. And he was like, bruh, if I open the door, we all fucking die. So what do you want me to do?
But our perception is, yeah, that Andy's evil. He's continuing to do evil acts on behalf of the company. But at the end of the day, he's not wrong. they would have got
All of them would have died. Yeah. And even if it is for the benefit of the company, like the company needs them to live to get the serum off the station. So yeah, of course he'd choose the option that lets the most people survive. And so Kay gets got and gets taken away. We think she dies because she got stabbed by the spear tail and carried away. Very shortly after, we do realize that she's alive because she has now been taken to the hive.
which they end up stumbling upon. Which I think they stumble upon it like almost immediately after. I don't remember the order of events, but regardless,
There's like some things that happen, but like since we can't recall, like we'll just keep going. So yeah, they go about their merry way. They're trying to find a way to get out of the station, and then they come into this hive area, and then they hear her like breathing or like calling out or something. So Tyler goes running and saves Kay, and that's when and they're also discussing using the black goo to save her because Rook told them like, oh, we can use it to like advance humanity, can heal any injuries. But they didn't watch the video to the very end because we saw him mutate the goddamn rat.
and Andy's recommending it because
He doesn't know either.
yeah,
He only knows what Rook told him.
he doesn't know either, but he's like, yeah, go ahead and do it. And then luckily Rain steps in like with her sense of humanity.
Rain's getting second thoughts. Yeah, she's getting second thoughts because she doesn't like there's no peer-reviewed long-term studies on this. Like it works in the short term, but what
I
about
know.
long-term?
What would Jeff Nippard say about taking this? I don't think he would. Like, how is this not the equivalent to space SARMs?
Yeah.
Come on.
And so then the hive basically comes awake and they stuff Kay in an elevator, give her the serum and tell her to like, this will take you directly to the ship. Just take it and get out.
Okay.
We'll come right after you.
So I think Andy gets incapacitated. Rain is running Kay and notices that Andy gets incapacitated. And so she has to make the decision.
And Tyler dies.
Yeah, well, yeah, Tyler died, everybody. Just so you know, who fucked Tyler.
Yeah, he gets got.
R.I.P. Tyler.
But she puts Kay in the elevator. She's like, do you think you can make yourself to the space station or to the ship? And she's like, of course, I got you, bruh. And then so she starts going up, and then Rain goes back to go save Andy. Luckily, it happens, but then I think in order, she's trying to get the fucking chip out. Andy's starting to fight her, but she's like, please let me do this for you. This is the only way we're going to get out of here. And he finally has the willpower to let her. And she basically talks his coding into letting her take it out. She does so, but now they're fucked. Like she saves him, but now they're basically sitting against the elevator together.
He's back to normal.
GG's like, hey, why don't you tell me some of your jokes, brother? And so she starts saying some of the silly jokes. And then one of them was, did you hear about the joke about gravity? Or did you hear about the guy?
Did you ever hear about the guy who got the book on zero gravity? He couldn't put it down.
Ha ha ha. But then she realizes, oh shit, I have this gun. I can't use it on the xenomorphs because if I do, their acid will go through the hull. But what if I trigger the gravity? And now,
so the blood just floats in the air.
Pretty genius themes. She triggers the gravity. She goes ham on all the xenomorphs and facehuggers coming with one gun. It's aim assisted. Absolutely destroys so many xenomorphs. And to be quite honest with you, that probably is what disappointed me about this fucking movie. This movie was meant to be a melding between Alien and Aliens. And so you have Alien, which was the entire movie was now, there was one creature taking out all of these trained individuals. This one, it's one creature hunting down these kids, but then it turns out to be more than one creature and it turns into action sequences, which I get is why they're trying to make it feel like Aliens and like James Cameron. But bro, she's like a fucking 26-year-old girl with like a auto aim gun. And these xenomorphs are supposed to be the fucking peak of human species. What do they call it? Like the
ultimate life form.
The ultimate life form, the perfect specimen. And she's practically sitting there just gunning them down. And she takes out all the xenomorphs.
Hey, it's called the indomitable human spirit.
I mean, that's cool.
Well, it's like also like they got slowed down. So like we never see them in space where they have, because it's like swimming. Like you're slowed down. That's how she was able to kill them.
And I remember
True. Good point.
I read this one comment.
I get what you're saying, though.
There's this one comment that said basically, so I thought it was dumb that the gun was given auto aim, and then someone said like it's because it's supposed to make it more believable that this girl who has never held a gun before was able to shoot a bunch of aliens. But 2, the tension was not going to be on her, like, can she kill all the aliens? The tension in the scene was now going to be, can she get through this field of floating acid blood?
That was pretty sick, though. They did a good job of diverting it. I'm not going to read too much into it because I'm not demoting this movie. I still think it was expertly written. I just believe this is the one part of the movie that I'm like, all right, we're setting up all, we've set up all these movies where it's like one or, a couple xenomorphs that cause all this havoc. And now suddenly one 26-year-old person can take on fucking like 20 xenomorphs at one time. But anyways, it was still cool. She gets through it and now she has to navigate the whole ass acid field. So that was neat.
I'll say skill issue because no one else ever came up with that idea before. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Rain, for organically coming up with it based on a few like context clues. So yeah. Thank God.
Chekhov's gun.
Yeah, let's fast forward just a little bit here. Spoiler alert, they get through the fucking acid field. Her and Andy do. They get into the elevator.
Kate took the black goo.
They can't use the elevator because of the anti-gravity, so they're navigating their way up. Like you said, Kay ends up, she's stressed out, and she decides to take the black goo because they were planning on using it, but they decide not to. So she has no idea what it does, but she injects herself with it. She makes it to the ship, though, and that's all that matters.
And she is looking a little bit better now. She doesn't look visibly hurt once she gets to the shiv.
The shiv.
Yeah, so now we get like a little bit of new tension where freaking Rain and Andy are trying to climb up the elevator shaft, but then the gravity comes back on and the freaking elevator's coming back down. And then it turns out like some of the xenomorphs are still alive. Fucking Rain falls off the ladder and we're like, what's gonna save her? And the goddamn xenomorph saves her.
That's insane.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. It was like, it's like the same energy as like, oh, you can't die, I still need you.
Yeah, exactly.
It was planning on feeding her to a face hugger that was about to crawl around the corner.
Yeah.
Come here, bitch, I'm gonna get you pregnant. Come on.
Sound like Papa Nasty.
Man.
God damn it. That's a nasty xenomorph.
I like that little instance like right before that when the elevator comes back down, it like crushes all the xenomorphs that were climbing up to get her.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, she's really... It's funny because in this movie, they do a really good job of doing two things. What do they call it? Come on, anything that's bad that could happen does happen. Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
So Murphy's Law happens throughout this movie. So it's like the worst possible things could happen, but then they can, because of that, they can sprinkle in some of the best possible things could fucking happen. They find a gun that auto aims everything. They have an elevator that can destroy a bunch of xenomorphs. Justifiable under these contexts. Balance it out. You did a great job. They managed to get through the rest of the fucking elevator shaft. They get to the goddamn ship.
Andy saves the day and calls back aliens by saying the iconic line, "Get away from her, you bitch."
Yeah, but the way he does it, "Get away from her, you bitch." Like she's a little bit.
Yeah, he pauses to get us to be like, is he going to say the whole thing?
Apparently, it was because Bjorn called him a bitch so many times in the movie. He knows that's a bad thing, so he's like, that's how he utilized it.
Yeah. And he grew a pair of robot balls.
Oh, like the Terminator learning in Terminator 2 how to act more human.
Yes.
Yes. Hasta la vista. Yep.
And so they get on the ship, they escape. All's good, right? Well, this is a horror movie, and there's still 20 minutes left of screen time, so we're not out of the woods yet.
What do you mean, Abel?
So they take off. Romulus station's crashing into the rings because we forgot to mention that when Bjorn decided to be an asshole, they knocked the station off its axis and it's now going to crash in 20 minutes instead of 1.5 days.
Yeah.
And so anyways.
So we had a 2-hour movie within a 40-minute movie time span.
Yeah.
In the universe. We had like the last hour and a half.
I read actually that the 40-minute countdown was perfectly in line with the runtime of the movie. When 40 minutes did pass in real time, that's where it was in the movie.
Dude, Alvarez is a fucking genius. You got to give him credit where credit's due.
Okay, excuse me.
You watch your goddamn mouth.
I'm sorry.
So like when they got to the point where like it was like 10 minutes until impact or something like that, there was 10 minutes until the station started crashing. But anyways,
there we go.
We get that funny scene where Rook is just basically chewing them out before he finally eats shit about how much humans suck and everything. That was kind of funny. So they get on the ship. They're flying away to safety, and then suddenly a Kay starts going into labor. Like, she was only in like the first 3 months of pregnancy at the beginning of the movie. Now suddenly she's about to give birth. That black goo did something to her. Oh fuck.
Oh fuck, did it do something to her? Let's go.
Yeah. Well, not to her. It did to the baby.
To the baby.
Yeah. And so she gives birth to like a fucking egg. She's spouting blood all over the inside of the freaking cryopod. It's like disgusting and also just very uncomfortable to watch.
And Fede Alvarez hyped this the fuck up. He said I was going to do something that hasn't been seen in both Alien and probably something that hasn't been seen in a horror movie, that's, palatable to the general audience. And he did it.
Isabella Merced said in an interview that like the movie would have a scene so disgusting that many people in production turned away from watching it.
Whoa.
That was wild.
And this was it, though. It's pretty whatever I got pissed about earlier with the whole fucking hive scene, it was completely redeemed right here on this ship scene.
She takes the egg and tries to get rid of the damn baby because we know that thing is definitely not going to be human. She gave birth to an egg, not a human. So that thing's already like part xenomorph right out the gate.
Yeah.
And then like, because it's hatching, it starts like spilling acid blood in the towel that she's holding in. So she then has to drop it. And we see the eggs cracked and we see that creepy human looking baby alien thing in there. And it was just so uncomfortable to look at. I hated it.
She is planning to kill it somehow, but then she hesitates because she sees a baby face and then it falls,
I think she was shocked more than hesitates.
Yeah, there it
She's
is.
like, what the fuck is that?
Well, yeah, when you see a baby coming out of an egg, you're like, I'm not going to kill it. I'm going to let it live. When we just dealt with a bunch of bloodthirsty aliens that fucking mouthfuck you and kill your best friends and your ex-boyfriend. Yeah. Why not?
And so she turns around to go get a weapon to kill the damn thing. She goes to get that cryo fuel freeze ray gun. But then she comes back and the damn thing is gone.
It got out of its little egg nest. Now the egg is left behind. You see all this fucking acid inside of it, but the creature's gone. So where did the creature go? Because it had fallen down. We're on the mine ship now. And so they're in the lower area, which is where they probably had which is where they would have the dirt and everything. This is the part of the ship that they could pull a few levers, click a button, and they can eject it off naturally. But it escapes from this area and goes back up to the normal ship where fucking Kay is recovering and she looks fine. She's like checking herself and there's like mucus coming out of her breasts and it's probably because she's getting ready to be able to nurse or something.
Yeah.
And then we got Mr. 7 foot tall fucking basketball player. He's gonna be a basketball player, tell you that much. What a beautiful baby boy.
He'd be a natural.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He comes crawling. He looks creepy as fuck as he approaches his mom and she's freaking out. She kind of looks fine though. I'm pretty sure the black goo like healed her up kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he goes up and he almost seems like he wants like affection from her and she freaks out because of him.
Oh, and he murked Andy. He murked Andy real fast.
Oh, you're right.
Because Andy was like checking on her.
Classic Mexican mom. Just,
Yeah, Andy was checking on her, and then he sees that Kay's looking at something over his shoulder. He turns around. That's when you get the reveal shot of the offspring in the doorway, creepily looking inside. And then, yeah, when it walks up to him, it just slashes him with a claw, and he's just like, just falls over.
This creature is not just strictly CGI'd, right? You said mocap?
Yeah, it's a little bit of mocap. It's actually they actually cast a 7 foot tall dude to play this damn alien.
Yeah, he's a basketball player apparently, but yeah, it's so fucked up. Could you imagine like getting met by like a movie producer? You're like, oh wow, hey, it's like, wow, dude, you're freaky as fuck. You want to be a villain? You want to be a monster in a movie? And he's been crying the whole time. He's like, you think I look freaky?
I know. I feel like he had a blast, probably.
Oh, I'm sure he had a blast.
Oh,
Mr. West, you told me something funny earlier about that's actually the product of Bjorn and Bjorn's son right there, right?
it wasn't the black goo. It was just an incest baby.
That's why it's so fucked up looking, guys.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
Oh, but also because the engineered DNA is in humans. That's also why it looks like an engineer also.
Yeah.
But so incest hillbilly engineer.
But his face too, he looks super creepy. He looked like I don't know, man. There's something like pedophilic in his, like something in his expression, something like that does, like, I don't know, man. I don't think it was an accident. I think something like He like straight up had Predator vibes. It was creepy, gross.
So what I'm thinking is, so that could be an analysis, but I think since some species of xenomorphs tend to be very cruel, bloodthirsty creatures right out the gate from birth, because it now has a humanoid face, it can actually emote, at least in the degree that humans do. So we now see that bloodthirsty behavior actually manifesting in facial emotions because aliens don't have faces.
Oh
Holy shit.
god,
That just hit me right now. That just hit me right now.
Dang, this is why we do the pod.
Yeah.
But then the offspring crawls over to Dora, and then it becomes Alien versus Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, poor Kay. I really hoped she was gonna make it through, but alas, she made it to the last 5 minutes of the movie.
Oh man, god damn.
Yeah, Rain is trying to get back out of the cargo hole. She sees like all the footprints it left in the dirt. She climbs back up just in time to see that the damn thing already killed its mom and now turns its attention towards her.
I know, it's like, was he just, feasting on, like, I think he was like absorbing the black goo. That's what I kind of speculated, maybe, but who knows?
Yeah, he was basically eating her at that point.
He was a thirsty. That's a big boy.
He was nursing. There's nothing wrong with that. He's just nursing on his mama.
Mm-hmm. Eric, when did you stop nursing?
I've never stopped, Mom.
Never stopped. Yeah.
No.
No. All right, we're getting tired. We're getting out of pocket here.
I was like, oh God, I don't know. Well, okay, moving on.
but yeah, about to get canceled in the last 20 minutes of this fucking episode.
So Kay's dead. Andy's out of commission. Now Rain's got to deal with the offspring by herself. This scary ass alien.
Great band.
Yeah, and she like tries locking it behind some doors while she tries to like figure out a way to get rid of the damn thing. And then things freakishly strong. And we also watch it slowly start metamorphosizing and developing alien-esque traits. Like, I don't think it had the tail right out the gate. It grew the tail as like time was passing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially after he was feeding on Mommy Dearest.
Yeah, and so they get into a fight in the cargo hold, and that's when she realizes, oh, if I hook myself up to the ship, I can just eject it into space, a la Ripley, then the alien, just drop this damn thing off into the ring. But she manages to unlatch 3 of the 4, but then she gets stuck on the 4th one, and the thing manages to catch up to her. And now we got like the sense of tension shit. We're like, is it gonna kill her? Is she gonna make it? And then she manages to get the thing unlatched. The whole thing starts falling into space. And then, we just see like dirt and everything flying around. It's just all crazy tension and shit.
There was no space firehouse she could have left the baby at.
If only. I think Wayland Yutani absolutely would have taken it if they could, but I don't think they had any stations nearby. The only station they had nearby was crashing into the ring.
That poor offspring, though. God, nobody wanted it. I don't even know what it wanted for itself. But she does plan to eject it from the ship.
Yeah, and succeeds in doing so, but we get like one last jump scare because it tries to lunge out at her while she's hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, dude, it looked fucked up. It looked a little pretty handsome awkward, if you know what I'm saying. But anyways.
Handsome awkward, what the fuck?
Yeah, but it gets lost into space. She gets back into the ship. She tucks Andy back into bed, promises she'll fix him up, puts herself in cryo sleep, and then she just signs off with a message like Ripley does in the first Alien, saying like, I don't know how long it'll be till anyone finds me, but this is me. Here's what happened, signing off.
And that's the end of the movie. I just realized as we were doing this will be our first YouTube video. And so in our title, I'm definitely going to put recap because we recapped our little hearts out, but it's fun, writing out a movie with people that enjoyed it alongside you. Well, I know we'll go into the vouch and everything, but I want to hear, Abel, what did you think, man? How do you feel like it fits in the grand scheme of things?
So I just realized upon finishing that I forgot to touch over one thing. According to this post I saw on Twitter with accompanying screenshots for proof, fans noticed that Ripley's ship from Alien was docked at Renaissance Space Station and ejects from the station as it's crashing into the planet rings, which made me recall how halfway through the movie I wondered if Wayland Yutani found the alien 20 years after the events of Alien, then how come it took them another 37 years to find Ripley? Because Aliens takes place 57 years after Alien. But now it makes sense. they did find her. They just lost her
Damn.
again. And so after the events of Romulus, they had to go back into space and look for her.
Fucking beautiful. The attention to detail, dude. The absolute attention to detail that Fede Alvarez has put into everything. Truly one of my favorite directors of all time when it comes to a franchise movie like this.
Alvarez even said straight up, there are some details in the movie I cannot talk about yet, but I left a little things about that would like be relevant later in the franchise. Something like that. And that's probably one of them. Who knows what else was in the movie that we didn't notice?
Yeah, there's all kinds of beautiful things. Papa Nasty, this is your first Alien movie. It was mine too, but is it? There it is. What do you think, man? Are you going to go back and watch all the other ones?
Absolutely not.
Fuck no. Actually, I do. I do want to go back and watch the first one.
The first one's solid. People have said Alien and Aliens are like two of their favorite movies. I've heard people say that.
Aliens is considered one of the greatest movies of all time according to Rotten Tomatoes. For a certain period of time, it was one of the rare 100%
Damn.
movies.
You know, this is the 9th Alien film. I did not fucking know that.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, I never watched any of them, but yeah, no, I liked it. I'm actually kind of upset that I don't know more about the Alien universe. But your boys can do some research.
People have called it the evil stepsister of Star Wars. Yeah, the evil stepsister getting stuck in the old shuttle hatch. Oh no.
That reminds me, I read the story about how Ridley Scott was inspired to make Alien because he saw Star Wars and he was like, I wish I could make a movie as cool as this.
That's so fucking awesome, dude.
And he did. He went and did.
So I know there's a lot of so who came up with the first xenomorph? Was it the engineers or was it David?
It was H.R. Geiger.
That is, yeah, it's...
Oh, thank you. No, there you go. We just end the podcast. Eric knows.
No, it's the concept artist. Yeah, it's the concept artist of Alien.
Piece of shit.
It was Stan Winston.
For real?
No, but Stan Winston is like known for like bringing movie monsters to life. He was a master at animating animatronics and costumes.
No. The engineer or David?
I know I was going on a tangent, but it's a topic of debate. A lot of Aliens lore implies that the engineers did create the xenomorphs. What David seemed to have been doing is he was kind of reverse engineering them or like making his own versions of them, because it's just a weird spot. A lot of people say there needs to be a third movie to follow up David's story arc because it's very ambiguous as to where it is right now. But earlier Alien lore says the xenomorphs are a lot older than that. So like if AVP is canon, for example, that takes place way before Covenant and Prometheus.
I think AVP is officially retcon. They it's fun that they exist, but they are not tied into the universe because they're planning on merging.
I guess Batman versus Alien was not real then.
What is it?
Batman versus Alien.
You son of a bitch. Don't break my
there was a
heart.
comic like that. There was a comic Batman versus Alien or something like that.
There's also Batman versus Elmer Fudd. So
There's also Batman versus Predator.
That was funny though. That was actually funny.
And Wolverine versus Predator. There actually was a mural in Prometheus of an alien or xenomorph looking creature that may or may not be, but I know it's all speculation.
Yeah. Like again, people speculate like what exactly did the engineers make the xenomorphs in the first place for? And like one theory regarding that mural, someone said like, I wonder if they were trying to like recreate whatever that creature was on it. Maybe it was like some kind of like god or idol to the engineers, and the xenomorphs were just an attempt to engineer it. I don't know. Who knows?
Eric, did we ever find out who that guy was that was watching them blast off into space?
I actually did watch. I went back and I rewatched that scene, and you're right. There's a guy in a hat. You can't see him very well because it's the back of
With
his head.
sunglasses, right?
Does he have a beard too? Says Southern Comfort on him.
You see him from the I entered. You see him. Oh, wait a minute. But you see him from the back. You see his hat on, and he's like casually watching and smoking a cigarette. And so it's like, oh, is that just a worker watching, or is it somebody more suspect?
A company spy.
Dun, dun, dun. But Abel, we talked a lot about this movie. We did get a few things off our chest, but I think you got to ask the big questions, my friend.
Do you guys vouch for me?
Yes. Yeah, I do. It was a really good movie. I believe this movie was expertly written. I thought they did a fantastic job of writing it. And it just gave you so many things as a viewer to pick up along the way and put up together a little puzzle of like, ooh, what's going to happen next? Ooh, that looks like foreshadowing. Ooh, that looks like a Chekhov's gun. How's this going to play out? And they put it together like a...
I liked your animated reactions throughout the movie. The way you'd like clasp your head sometimes or be like,
I know.
He's so animated when he watches movies.
I wasn't even trying to. I was freaking out.
Dude, him and his intern were both doing the same things at different times. I'm like, okay, I'm sitting right next to each other.
Yeah, we're gonna film ourselves just reacting to movies physically, not not verbally. But Papa Nasty, you vouch for him.
This is very hard. I vouch for you. Yeah.
No, tell us why. Tell us how much you vouch for him.
Thoughts on the movie, basically.
I'd face hug him.
Ooh. Well, then I guess at that point, kill, watch, marry.
Watch.
Face hug, chest burst, or acid blood.
Ooh, chest burst.
How about the chest burst? I think I would, for the franchise itself, I would want to marry this because, as far as I can tell, this is a pretty damn good Alien movie. That's why I would marry it.
Whoa.
Same here. I think I'm buying the fucking Blu-ray when it comes out.
I want to see the deleted scenes on this one, or even just some behind the scenes bullshit.
Alvarez better give us some good DVD commentary and fucking special features to dig into.
You know what, dude? Fuck. Actually, I gotta say it blatantly. Fuck director commentary. I prefer the way that Nolan started doing it because Christopher Nolan used to do director commentary, but when the Batman movie started coming out, he would just make a whole ass behind the scenes like documentary. That's so much cooler than director's commentary, because when you actually try to watch a movie with the director's commentary on, you're trying to listen to the movie, but then you're also listening to these guys fucking talking, and you're like, dude, shut the fuck up. Oh, you made this movie. You're so cool.
Fucking dork.
Nerd.
I think it's an attention thing. I mean, when I've seen in some movies so many times that I don't need to pay attention to it because I know how it's flowing, so I could probably just hear out what they had to say about it.
I respect what you're saying, but it feels like my eyes are going in two opposite directions.
Oh shit, god damn it.
Austin Powers over here. Remember when he was trying to explain time travel? He's like, oh no, I just went cross-side.
Nice.
Dude, that's fucking good, Abel. That's fucking so good.
I know.
Awesome.
He's so good at these things.
Good. That was so good.
I don't know.
God damn it. What was I gonna say?
Damn it.
Tell us about your experience with your camp counselor. Yes, right now, live on YouTube for everybody.
He was gonna say his camp counselor looked like the offspring alien.
Did he look like the offspring by any chance?
You were my camp counselor, Eric. Huh? You want to tell him the truth? Ah, da, da, da.
That's how I got him on the show in the first place.
That's where you 1 year apart.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
I think we did it, guys. I think we did the whole last movie. I know we have plans to do more things coming soon to a theater near you. We're going to be doing Rival soon, because why not keep to the sci-fi vibe? And we're still speculating what the next movie is after that. We were considering The Crow, but it sounded like it critically bombed. And
we're tired of watching bombs.
Yeah. Morbius was the last good bomb that we did. And I know we're going to play with the formula a little bit more too. We do want to hear what you guys think in the comments. The recap is fun, but there's no shame in us, toning it down a little bit, because this is a 2-hour goddamn episode, and somebody's editing this, and it's like, is this what the people want? So the more you guys bug us, Julian specifically, tell us what you think we should do.
Shout outs.
Yeah, our number one fan,
Julian, aka J Biscuits, aka Little Nasty, number one fan. Please, guys, leave some comments on some movies you want us to review. Yeah, this is a good film.
Please like, comment, subscribe, give us a follow and a 5-star review.
Fucking add us on the Patreon.
Yeah, specifically navigate from this page to Spotify and give us a 5-star review, because I can't explain how important that is. We should probably start bringing that up at the beginning of episodes, but we'll get there. We're getting there. We're doing the thing.
Wildest comment gets it. We'll put it on the next episode. So keep it going.
I actually tried to respond to a Jay Biscuit comment with my own account, and I think I said something too out of pocket. I swear to God that YouTube deleted it.
What did you say?
Nothing too crazy. I just, we were making that whole joke in Morbius about guys, the vampire's going out and he's just sucking dudes. And, that's what Jay Biscuit was laughing about. So I commented yeah, he's out there just sucking everybody. And I swear YouTube deleted it, as if it were it was too explicit.
It could be freaking community guidance or something. The auto mod took it down maybe, because TikTok does the same thing. If if you say something that could be considered like offensive or trying to incite a flame war, AutoMod will just delete it
Oh wow.
because there's certain keywords they look for.
Yeah, but that's a good thing because like it's funny when we say out of pocket stuff, but if any randoms are in there, just like fucking derogatory terms left and right, it's like, oh right, never mind. Let's shut this down real quick.
We're not trying to be offensive, guys. It's all for fun. We're sorry, and Eric will send you a personal apology for anything that may be offensive.
I just want to let you guys know we're deeply sorry that you're such a little bitch.
Oh my god!
Got him. Yeah.
No.
And then Abel's over here like, I'm not associated with these guys whatsoever. I actually have values.
Yeah. I'm just here to share my love of film.
That's true. That's the number one party anthem. What we're doing. We're probably gonna get fucking taken down the moment we get put up. But hey, we'll
Every day I'm shuffling.
bum. Guys, we did the thing. We came. We saw. We came again.
Oh, you did too? Hell yeah.
Time to bid our farewells. It was a pleasure. Thank you guys so much for everything. You'll be seeing more from us, and yeah, we'll hone it in. We'll reel it in. We'll get it cute. We'll get focused. It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
We came. We cried. We shit our pants.
The whole theater shit their pants.
Oh, that's awesome.
I levitated out of my seat.
Oh my god. Basically, go back and listen to some of our podcasts, guys. This is the first video ones, but if you guys are bored, the Morbius episode goes off. So
Yes. Hell yeah.
I feel like the lighthouse also changed you guys as people.
we'll probably end up redoing a few of those pods as video pods. But anyways, we'll get there later down the road. Let's go ahead and call this before 2 hours, guys.
All right. Signing off.
Stay nasty.
Bye.
Have a good night.